All right, let's get it on over here. What's happening? This is Self-Publishing with Dale, where of course you're going to learn how to write and publish books that sell. And this is a Friday. I apologize I didn't do anything earlier. I had a doctor's appointment. I've been kind of tied up. I had some pressing personal issues, and there was a little bit of closure on my end of things. And I thought, let's go out and celebrate with a little bit of tacos. So we went over to Condado, threw down a couple tacos, got to visit with our good buddy Lily up there. If you don't know who Lily is, you're probably like, oh man, I don't know who the heck that is. Believe it or not, she's actually in my special thanks for the book. Let me see here. The book I did on reviews. So you'll find it very interesting how I tie Condado tacos together with getting Amazon book reviews. But yeah, Lily is one of the ones that's mentioned in there. Just a fantastic young lady. We always love going up and visiting her. So it was kind of nice getting a little bit of closure today on some personal issues. So real excited to be here. Today, we're just going to be answering some comments. And if you got questions here live, or you're watching this on the replay, drop them on in here and I will do my best to answer them. You're going to discover here on the podcast channel, I'm just going to be answering it probably on a weekly basis. So if it's a little delayed getting back to you, my apologies, but I try to do things all at once rather than a little bit at a time, because otherwise it just chips away at my day and it breaks my focus. So I just try to find focusing here. Do me a huge favor. You happen to be watching this, snap a picture, share it over onto Twitter. You can do Instagram, you can do Twitter, and oh my gosh, TikTok just blew me away. I woke up today, one of my videos on TikTok must have gotten picked up by their algorithm. In fact, I went to bed last night. I had 120 followers. My average views for each video is about 200 views. Nothing spectacular. It's pretty nice considering. But then I woke up and I saw, for whatever reason, I'm like, whoa, wait a second. Like, the video was over 3,000 views. I was over 320 followers. And since I got up this morning, it's actually now up to 381 followers. And that particular video is getting ready to hit 7,000 views. I am eternally grateful to each and every single one of you that are supporting me over on TikTok. Definitely come on over there and join me. I might end up doing some lives on that one. We'll see. I just enjoy doing it on YouTube more than anything, because there's something about streaming on mobile that I don't get into it as much as, say, when I got my PC set up. So I want to say what's up to those that actually came here for the live broadcast. Again, sorry couldn't get it in early today, but come next week, we'll get it back onto the early schedule again. So what's up, Samantha? It's great to see you. I saw you pumped out a video about copyright today. So folks, you got the opportunity. Make sure that you go over to SL Michaels. Take a look at her channel. She's got one covering registering your copyright. So give that a look. And Samantha, I don't know sure if you knew, but over in Discord, my bot actually announces anytime that you release a video now. Same thing for you, Kevin McGuire. Great to see you, Kevin, buddy. Over on Discord, we've got both of your channels mentioned. Anytime that your video shoots off, my bot lets everybody know inside Discord. So YY's the Yatsy boy, it's great to see you, buddy. I am always glad to see my brother from Canada. So thank you so much for tuning in. Hey folks, let's dig into things. So let me turn on the inset here. We're going to switch on over here to the screen. So I just want to give a big shout out to, oh, hang on. We got to pay the bills, folks. I'm sorry. We got to pay the bills because the fine folks over at Winning Writers help sponsor live stream broadcasts this month. And on this channel here, the podcasting channel, listen, they run a contest called the North Street Book Prize. And with the North Street Book Prize, you have the opportunity to enroll, enlist, or even submit your book for this particular competition. It could be new and it can be even an old publication, so long as it is self-published. They're taking it in up to 6 different categories. Each of those categories, the winner will be entered for $1,000. Yeah, the winner gets $1,000 plus other things. And then the grand prize winner gets $5,000 and a ton of marketing opportunities, so much more, folks. Go over to winningwriters.com/Dale21 today to see about submitting your book to the North Street Book Prize. Let me know if you end up submitting to that contest. If you do, I will shoot out a banana sticker and a personal note from myself, just so long as you just let me know that you did that. So lucky I'm on vacation, otherwise I'd miss so much. Ah, gotcha. So let's switch on over here. I just want to give a big shout out to each and every single one of you that are watching this right now and continue to watch the content here on the podcast channel. Believe it or not, we are getting ready to hit the YouTube Partner Program. That means that I'll be able to monetize my videos with ads. Now, you're probably like, oh, your eye rolling, eyes about ready to fall out your skull. You're probably like, oh, great, I get ads on it. Hate to tell you this, YouTube started up something new where they're going to put ads on non-monetized channels. And so if they're going to put ads on it anyways, I would rather collect the money myself. And I'm probably sure you could probably agree with me on this one. If you would like to help support the cause, it would mean the world to me. If you could just continue to just subscribe to this channel, watch the videos from beginning to end. It's an awesome way to do it. And we are 159 hours away from being monetized, which is crazy because just yesterday, I saw the count was at about, I think it was about 196. So it dropped by, 40 hours, 40 watch time out, 40 hours. That's an entire day to 2 days of content that you folks have watched. Thank you so much. It really does mean the world to me. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you. So now that's out the way. Joseph Carroll, hey, how you doing? Are you in Circleville, Ohio? Joseph, are you really that close to me? Why haven't we met up before if you're in Circleville? Because Circleville's not too far away here. I'm living downtown Columbus, Ohio. So great to see you, Joseph. I'm sorry you slipped in between the comments there and I didn't say hi to you, so my apologies, buddy. Easy Graphics, great to see you there, buddy. Hey, folks, share this out on social media. Let's go ahead and have a little bit of fun. All right, so we've got our first comment of the day, and this comes from my buddy Joseph here from Circleville. I'm assuming Circleville. Oh, yes, sir. Look at that dude. Come on, man. Drop me a line, Joseph. Dale at selfpublishingwithdale.com. And with the lockdowns restrictions lifted, maybe we can kind of meet up for tacos and such like that downtown. Be happy to chat and talk shop with you. So, all right. So the very first question here comes from Joseph. What do you think about trying to get a fantasy book into comic book stores? Ooh. I think it's going to require a little bit of legwork on your part. But it's not impossible. Keith Wheeler from Keith Wheeler Books is notorious for getting his books into stores. And he says the secret to it is just go to your local bookstore, chat up the staff, get to know like the management, because when it comes time for your book launch, they're going to know you and they're going to want to help support you. So my answer to you is it possible? Yes. Will it require some work? Absolutely. Because if you think you can just distribute through say, expanded distribution or using like something like Ingram Spark, it does not assure that you're going to get onto a bookshelf. So one of the best ways to do is just belly to belly, eyeball to eyeball, as my boy Willie Mays would say. You got to get out there and you actually have to talk with people. So looking forward to hearing from you, Joseph. Definitely love to have lunch. Let's do it, buddy. Let's do it for sure. I was about to record a video about other half has other ideas, so popped on here instead. By the way, if you get the opportunity, folks, go on the mobile, all right, on YouTube. And you're going to go over to YouTube on mobile, and here's what you're going to do is go over to my channel. All right, Roberto, get out of here. I'm not talking to you yet. Big fan of Roberto Blake. All right, so you're going to go into the mobile device, and then you see where the profile picture's at? Yeah, tap that. And it will show you the different YouTube stories that I have on here. All right, let me going to close this up. I just got ordered, let's see here, about a few days ago, I got in a big crop of books. And then my brain starts thinking, I'm like, you know what? I got a ton of books that I ended up delisting. And you're going to probably say, why did I delist them? You're going to have to go watch the stories because I actually explain why I delisted them. All that to say this, it was a big lesson. So I ended up ordering about, let's see here, the very first run, it was a little over 20 books because I already had a handful of my books anyways. And then I went ahead and ordered proof copies, the ones that were delisted, because when you delist a book from Amazon, you won't be able to get author copies anymore. So you get the ugly the ugly watermark here, not for resale, but not a big deal because I just really wanted to hang on to this for, prosperity's sake, you know, a lot of people say, you never published. You never published over 40 books. Yeah. So in this bookshelf over here, this one right here alone, that's all my books. There's over, let's see, 41 titles. I've got another title that's going to be in tomorrow that's delisted. Some reason it got separated out from the other lot. And then I've got 5 other titles I totally forgot that were on the marketplace. So I ordered author copies of that. Now, see, here's a funny thing. These got here in 2 days. The author copies are going to be here in 2 weeks. What the frick? Like honestly, like, come on, Amazon, really? Really? To do author copies is going to take that much longer? What? Someone please help me out here. I'm not too good with trigonometry and algebra. The numbers don't add up. It doesn't make any sense. Monday, I added to the image I got from Fiverr. The phone cases look awesome. Oh, nice. Actually, I got a phone case myself. This one was done through Teespring. So if you go on my main channel, you will see some of the products that I do through, well, it's no longer Teespring, it's just Spring, which is weird. Why did they get rid of the Teespring? Like, they could have just kept the T, because now it makes sense. What's the date for author copies? The author copies will be getting in June 18th. So when I say it's going to be 2 weeks, it's going to be 2 weeks. And I put this order in 2 days ago. Again, we got all these proofs in, but you order author copies, it takes significantly longer. And you also have to pay for shipping on top of that, by the way. So this is a huge reason why most times whenever I order a book, I just order it directly through Amazon, because then I can just use Prime shipping and then the royalties will just kind of equal out. This particular instance, I was just like, screw it. I'll go ahead and bulk order this stuff and do it this way, because otherwise that would have been a huge amount of money. I think the shipment that I got in today was a total of like $76. I had like $40 in credits or something like that for my credit card. So I ended up paying like $36 for the lot of books there. So yeah, that stuff adds up after all. Ethereum, let's get reviews on your book. Are you fucking high? Are you really that daft? Now, I'm not saying you are. I just hear these would-be experts saying this type of a thing. The thing is, how can you get more reviews if people aren't buying your books? You got to get more people to buy your books. Will the ad perform as well as, say, a book with reviews on it? No, it probably won't. But the thing is, you got to work with what you have. So put ads on that. I'm going to tell you this, that yes, you should get reviews on your book, but no, you should not allow that to slow you down. So Ethereal Flower, I hope you didn't think that I was calling you daft. That seemed like it was framed wrong. I wasn't saying that. I'm just saying the experts that tell you shouldn't send ads to a book with no reviews. I recommend, even if you run a book on a pre-order of sorts, that's the thing. Run ads to that pre-order. Get it going. Boost it up. It helps out with relevancy so more people can stumble over it and purchase it and then hopefully leave a review. So excellent. Yes, thank you. Again, hopefully you didn't think I was calling you daft. I find it's just so crazy whenever I hear people. Like, this is one that makes me cringe. Like, it just makes me cringe right out my skin. And it's not just that one, but the one I hear. And I even heard a very big YouTuber, like, she has a far bigger following, and I really love her content. But I heard her say this in a video. You need to have 50 reviews on your book on launch. Shut up. That right there is bad advice. That might work for her, but it doesn't work for everyone. And to be honest with you, I've had some titles had 0 reviews that would pull in thousands in a month. I had a single book. Let's see here. It was December 2016, and it was a no content book. And this dang thing pumped in $2,000 of revenue, 0 ads, 0 reviews. So this just kind of goes to prove that don't always get hung up on the reviews. Should it be part of your business to include and get reviews onto your books? Absolutely. You definitely should. So thank you so much for asking that. No offense taken. Love your content. Hey, thank you. I love you for saying that. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support. I have no reviews on my book that aren't from family. Yeah, the struggle's real. I always recommend to folks that if you can, your first book, it makes sense. Maybe reach out to some friends and family to help support and such like that. But after your first book, that's it. All right, you get one lifeline. That's it. Don't use it. Don't keep abusing your friends and family. Here's the issue with friends and family purchasing your book, especially on Amazon. If you send somebody to buy your book and they go and they buy it and then they leave a review for your book, the problem is, first of all, you've got that bias, which, as everybody knows, Amazon doesn't like to have biased reviews. So anytime that you have some type of connection. Also, if you don't listen to that, if you're a little bit of a maverick and you're like, you know what, I like to paint outside the lines and I'm still going to get my friends and family to get my books and review them for me. The problem lies in the fact that your friends and family, a vast majority of them, probably don't consume the type of content that you publish. I know for a fact, none of my friends and family, except for you guys, would go out and buy my books about self-publishing. They would go buy it, but the thing is, are they going to go and get David Gogren's books? Are they going to get Joanna Penn's books? Are they going to get Michael Laron's books? Are they going to get David Wogan's books? Are they going to get, you see what I mean? The problem is, when they go and buy this stuff, it sends a very weird mixed signal to Amazon's algorithm to where they're like, oh, so let's say one of your friends and family, they're into, let's say, crocheting. And they buy a lot of crocheting books. They're buying crocheting items. So then all of a sudden they go and they buy this book that's your Werebear Shapeshifter romance mystery, whatever it is. And then the algorithm's going, wait, what? I knew. Okay. And so this cross-pollination happens in which, actually, I don't even want to call it cross-pollination, more cross-contamination, because you're now telling the algorithm that, oh yeah, I should be served up in front of other people that like crocheting, even though you've got a Werebear Shapeshifter romance mystery series. And when those people aren't reacting positively to it, that aren't your friends and family, normally in the crocheting, and they see your Werebear Shapeshifter romance mystery, they see that and they're going, well, no. So then they're not clicking on any of they're served impressions of your title, and then they're not clicking on it, so then it drops relevancy. Let's just say that they do click on it for some reason. Sure, it boosts a little bit of relevancy, but at the end of the day, are they buying the book? Because if they aren't buying the book, that means that's going to drop your relevancy as well. And so what ends up happening is it works against you. So in most instances, unless you're a brand spanking new author, okay, it's your first book, everyone should be allowed to celebrate that with their friends and family. Absolutely. After that first book, though, that's it. This is your one and only shot to work with friends and family. And if they're interested in something like that, great. I would recommend after the first title, though, just comp them. Just send them a free ebook version of it. You can always get a Story Origin account and send them over to download that 100% free for you. You can buy an author copy, or you can even get a proof copy of some sort. So like all these proof copies would be great for me to give as a gift to someone because they want to support and they also want to kind of brag about you to a certain extent. But the problem, again, lies in the fact that they can really get it to where they cross-contaminate your also bots, and it would really work against you. So I always recommend, if you can, find your ideal audience. You go wherever they congregate and then try to promote your book that way. What's going on? The Writing Community Chat Show. It's great to see you, buddy. Some fantastic as always. I've heard you need 25 to 50 reviews for the algorithm to push you, but I wouldn't lose my mind about it at launch. No. That is, again, a lot of hearsay and a lot of theory and a lot of speculation. Great book to go and read. I highly recommend you go take a look and actually do it now. Here, hang on a second. Give me just a second. I'm going to drop a link to each and every single one of you here in just a second. It is on sale right now. It's David Gogren's Amazon Decoded. He actually has it for 99 cents right now. Yeah, best price in 30 days. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a link here. If you can just use my link, that would be so awesome. I'd thank you very much for that. Let me go to Genius Link so I can make sure that it goes out worldwide. And even if you see this video after the sale is over, highly recommend it. I paid full retail price for it. It's well worth it. It's probably one of my favorite books when it comes to self-publishing. David Gogren is he is quite possibly one of the best people speaking in our space right now. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, except for me. No, I am like a big lighter to his bonfire when it comes to the knowledge that he has, the ins and outs of self-publishing. All right, so here we go. I'm going to hit save, and I'm going to drop this link in here. And you folks do me a favor. Help support David. David's a good dude. Go pick up a copy. You will thank me later for this one. I promise you. So there's the link. Please go ahead and grab that. And I'm just going to pin this to our stuff so that way no one misses out on it. I pin that post. Go up there, grab a copy of David Gogren's Amazon Decoded. He does cover a lot of the algorithm in here, and it makes so much more sense. So you're going to be able to see why when you hear someone say you need 25 to 50 reviews in order to actually get any kind of traction with the algorithm. Wrong. It's absolutely wrong. That's theory. It's speculation. What might work for one person may not work for the vast majority of people. And this is a lot of the cases I've seen so many times. Great example. Hang on. Give me just a second. Here we go. So a good buddy of mine, James Ranson, actually put out a book called Don't Write a Crappy Book. James been on the channel a few times, the main channel. And he put this one out. His sole intent was, to get it on out to the market and hopefully make some money and get some more clients and such. And the problem is he really focused on getting reviews, like really just hustled his face off. We're talking like he got 50 reviews within the first month to 2 months. And then within a few months, he had 100 reviews on it, if I can recall. It didn't sell too much. It really didn't blow up the charts. Maybe it became a bestseller in some random obscure category. And it's not that it makes James a bad marketer. It's not that, he did anything wrong, but it completely pokes holes in the fact that you need X amount of reviews. The thing that helps out when it comes to reviews, and this is definitely something that I think is a stronger theory and has a better leg to stand on than this 25 to 51. It's about consistency. Getting consistent reviews, because the more engagement that you have on a product page, the more it raises the relevance within the YouTube algorithm. I'm looking at the YouTube and I'm thinking that Amazon algorithm. So you're going to drive up that relevancy by having regular reviews. But let's just take the algorithm and put it off to the side for just a second. The main reason you want to have reviews is social proof. So that way, when someone lands on your product page, I think Steven Serrell said this the other day, and I love this, Steven, by the way. Big shout out to you, buddy. The best way to put it is, you're at a show. Someone puts on an amazing performance, and you stand up, you start applauding. What's the next thing people are going to be doing? Hopefully, everybody stands up and starts to applaud along, and you notice it starts to catch on. Because we all like to experience the same thing as other human beings like to experience. And by seeing that someone has experienced that, whether positive or negative, gives a person a little bit more confidence in stepping forward. Now, it sounds kind of strange. You probably think, but what if I have some one-star reviews? Guess what? I am the weird person that anytime I'm looking at reviews, whether books, products, or even restaurants or locations, I look at the negative reviews first. Because sometimes those negative reviews are going to reveal some things to me that aren't necessarily problems, So I say this, that reviews, you collect them. Don't think about gaming the algorithm. Think about providing social proof that's going to get it to where more people feel confident in investing in your publication. So the link sent me to Amazon Germany. That's so weird. Yeah, the writing community chat show, you're going to really love David Gogren's stuff. David is just, I tell you, I wasn't a fan of David at first. Sorry, David, if you happen to be watching this later, I highly doubt you are. I didn't get him. But then I started watching his videos and I started reading his books and I was like, I get you now. I get you. David's a good dude. He's got a very big heart, one of the biggest hearts in the business of self-publishing. And funny guy, just absolutely witty. You're going to really enjoy Amazon Decoded. I do the same thing. 90% of negative reviews just make me more confident in the product. Yeah, because sometimes it will reveal something. Well, so let's just say, for instance, like someone leaves a 1-star review on your fiction book. We're going to go back to Werebears. Be like, you know what? I don't like, there's so much descriptions inside this Werebear Shapeshifter book. It just, get to the point. Whereas there's some people that want to be wined and dined with their Werebear Shapeshifter. So having those reviews really does help out because it will get it to where it separates the wheat from the chaff. Gets it to where it's like, oh, yeah, this is for me, or it's not so much for me. That's why I go to 1-star reviews, because typically it's going to be a very polarized look at whatever the product, brand, or service is. And then you can kind of determine from there, does it make sense for me to move forward? Yeah, David Gogren has a very quirky sense of humor. Got to stick with his jokes to eventually get the jokes. Yeah. Yes, don't forget to like the like button. I appreciate that. That's my new phrase. Don't forget to like the like button. All right, so we're answering comments today, believe it or not. Kelly's out on the couch, knocked out, I think, taking a little bit of a nap, taking a little siesta. All right, let's go over to comments and mentions. Just got my book description done by Brian Meeks because of you. He's a wizard. Big thank you for that. Oh, yeah. It's so funny. Brian is one of my favorite people. Anytime he and I get together, we spend hours talking. Like, we'll get on for an interview, do like an hour, hour and a half, and then I'll stay around for about another hour and a half talking to him. He is just a wonderful guy. If you're ever stumped, by the way, and you want to learn a little bit more about Amazon ads, Brian Meeks is your man. Like, honestly, he's really good. Is Brian Meeks on Fiverr? No, he's not. This is going to kind of sound crazy for you. YY's the Yatsy boy. And I give him a hard time about this every time. If you want to contact him, go to Facebook. Like, literally all you got to do is go to Facebook and send him a message. Or you can even go into one of his groups and just ping him there. He doesn't give an email. He doesn't give a website. Nothing. I'm like, dude, at least buy a website and a friggin' email for this. But no, Brian's kind of the belief of less is more. He is always on Facebook. I'm telling you, I think he's on there 24/7. So go over to Facebook, hit him up over through Messenger. Super, super cool guy. Yeah, for sure. And I get no kickbacks, by the way, if you go and buy a description from him. All right, we've done this before here in the past. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go through all of the comments for the past week since this past Friday. And you will see the video on the right-hand side. And then the person commenting here on the left-hand side, if you ever see this red right here, that means that they have publicly subscribed to the channel. So Carol T, thank you so much, Carol. I appreciate that. Unless it's Carell. I hope I'm not butchering name. My apologies. So let's go ahead and start this one on out. It says, quick question that I must know. If I were to check returnable on the setup, any books return, I would assume the cost. Yeah, you are correct. So this is in reference to Ingram Spark. And I'm going to have to thank him. Thanks for subscribing over 2 months ago. It means the world to me. Boom. So that's the thing. When it comes to Ingram Spark, if you end up distributing through there, I've spoke with, the former director of Ingram Spark was Robin Cutler. I've even saw an in-person event down in Cincinnati a few years ago. And the thing is, there's a couple things that will prevent your book from getting onto brick and mortar bookshelves. And the one of them is owning your own ISBN. If you don't own your own ISBN, you've got an Amazon free assigned one, you've just significantly decreased your odds of getting onto a bookshelf. The next thing is, unless you're a big name author, a lot of stores aren't willing to invest a lot of money in your products and put them onto the shelf without some type of a safety net. So Ingram Spark said, by putting in returns, you have then taken on all of the risk. So that means a bookstore can go and order 10 of your books through Ingram Spark or through their ordering services for Ingram Content Group, and they can stock it on their shelf. If for whatever reason they decide, oh, you know what, these 10 books aren't selling, or we don't like them, whatever, it's not fitting here, they can send those things back. They can get a full refund. Here's the problem. You now take the cost and assume the cost it was for them to stock it on the shelves. You're going to have to pay for the print costs. You're going to have to pay for the shipping and handling. And you got two options. Either you get it sent to you or you get them destroyed. A good friend of mine, Julie Broad, always recommends just get them destroyed. I know it sounds kind of sucky to kill your babies, but it is what it is. You don't need to be having a garage full of books, and sometimes it's the cheaper option just to have them destroyed. So there is that. Coming back on over here. Tempted to get Brian to rewrite an Amazon description I've got. We'll have to see if I have the budget for Brian, though. Full disclosure, I think he even said it on his live broadcast. I'm not sure if he's changed the costs recently, but it's about $150 for him to do the copywriting. But he works with you until you are confident with it. And the nice thing is you can always just, for simplicity's sake, and get it to where your bank account's not crying every time you look at it, get one done and then use as a template. And that's the way to go. Sebastian, how's it going? Good evening to you. RY, Dale's awesome. The WCCS sent me here. Can you switch to your own ISBN and keep your Amazon reviews, or do you start over? Ooh, RY, thank you so much. I appreciate you watching that one there. It's still $150, Joseph. Thank you so much. I appreciate you chiming that one in. It's been a minute since I ordered one from him, but I order all of my descriptions from Brian Meeks anymore because it's just, honestly, I've got better things to do, and I would probably spend hours doing what he probably does in a couple of hours, maybe even an hour. $150, well worth it. I can spend my time more wisely, earning more money than that $150. So I typically just hire out to him. So take him up on it. Is he in Vegas? Pick of him with coffee. I'm not sure if he's gone back to Vegas. He was talking that as soon as it was lifted, it was a possibility. Forgetting where he lives now. But yeah, it's a possibility. Dale, can you show me his Facebook pic so I can message the right person? Yeah, hang on a second. Come on over here, Facebook. Boom. I think it's like a picture of him sitting at he's like sipping on coffee or something like that, unless he changed it recently. Yeah. It's a picture of him. Looks like he's almost like at Denny's here. So I will go ahead and I'll drop it here. And please feel free to, let him know I sent you. I get no kickbacks, but it will help out. So, okay, so let's come back over to the question that RY had here. RY was saying that, okay, I'm using the free ISBN. Let me just go ahead. I'm going to take a book off the shelf here just to be safe. Let me see here. I know one of these has an Amazon. Okay, here we go. My How to Master Core Exercises. This is definitely a free assigned ISBN that I got through Amazon on this one right here. So it's got some reviews on it. I can't say for sure if this one does or doesn't. Either way, it's got some reviews on it. What happens if I delist this and I relist it underneath the new ISBN with my own imprint? Will I lose those reviews? This depends largely on how much you change the book. So if you keep the same title and somewhat the same description and the same content, you should be okay. But if you go in and significantly change the title, you're going to have an uphill battle to actually get them to move those reviews over. Amazon typically is obliging when it comes to requests like that. But just going to tell you, they can push back and they can tell you no. And that means that those reviews stay on the old listing. And there's that. But what I would recommend before you delist your Amazon imprinted book, get a hold of KDP. Let them know what you're going to be doing. Say, hey, I plan on delisting this. I've got my own ISBN that I would like to use with my own imprint. Before I do this, am I able to switch my reviews over from the first edition to the second edition? I don't plan on making any significant changes. It's just the ISBN. And you'll find out 99% of the time, they will say yes. 99% of the time. I can't guarantee it. So please don't come back and attack me if for some reason they're like, oh no, they didn't let me do it. Oh, Dale. So this is one of the reasons why I try to tell people before you go and delist any type of a book, make sure you're 100% certain. Can you just change out what you currently have? If not, things like the ISBN means you're going to have to delist that print version and put it on up. On Twitter, it says Iowa, but he's a Buckeye. Yes, that was it. Yep. Oh, yeah, he's a diehard Buckeye fan. So, of course, you know, when we get to talk and he's always, did you see the Bucks? Oh, my gosh. Yeah. I'm like, bro, I don't get into sports. When I say I obsess over self-publishing, folks, I obsess over self-publishing. It's not just a gimmick. You legend. Thank you. Hey, I'm happy to help. You know, the funny thing is actually, RY, I just picked up. Let's see here. You probably saw this earlier this week on the main channel. And if you follow me on TikTok, you probably saw it. And on Instagram, Reels, I ended up going to Gogren. And that is the ISBN Registrar here in the United States. Now, if you're in UK, it's going to be Nielsen. Other regions, you're just going to have to Google it up. Either way, though, I ordered over 1,000 ISBNs for $1,500. I tell people, and I laugh about it, that it's the most expensive video I've ever put together. That might not be 100% true because I think maybe Book Rescue might have been close to that, if not over. But out of $1,500 of my own money I put in it, there's going to actually be another video I'm going to put together discussing this ROI, where I talk about delisting a book, moving those reviews over to the new ISBN and such like that. So some of the best practices and even registering the ISBN properly. So that'll be, I'm hoping, in the next crop of videos, and the next crop of videos don't start until July because we're booked all the way through June. So, all right, more comments. Findaway Voices commented over on the news segment. By the way, have you guys and gals caught the news segment that I've been doing? Okay, every Monday at 12:15 p.m. Eastern Daytime here, Universal Time Coordinated -4. That's Greenwich Mean Time -4, folks. If you join me on the Mondays, I'm going to start out each one of the shows with updates and news. And then after that, I'm going to jib-jab, and then we're going to have the podcast recording. After the broadcast is done, I'm going to clip the news feature. Now, you can watch that within the 24 to 48 hours that YouTube has it up and processing, but eventually I'll clip it down to just the news segment so we can get right to it. And that's actually what this segment was from the news that I covered over. And I reached out to Will Degas, and Will's like, oh my gosh, he shouted us out. Well, they were just on the short list for the London Book Fair International Excellence Award. They won Audiobook Publisher of the Year. Big round of applause to the Findaway Voices gang. You guys are the best. So big congrats. You guys just got another shout out in my live comment answering. And I don't have a link to it, so we're just gonna, boom, there we go. WCCS, thanks again. Fantastic information as always. Glad you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for the support. I am out of practice with my typing right now. What the heck's going on, Dale? Come on, get with the program. Here we go. Reply. Let's churn and burn this stuff here. I love the news segment. Awesome, Caleb. How's everyone doing? I'm fantastic, man. I'm so glad to see you join us here. I'll be seeing you tomorrow, right? We're supposed to be having the video creator meetup. Would you recommend publishing only on Amazon or Apple or both? Ooh, loaded question. It depends on your goals. I'd recommend going wide as possible if being exclusive to KDP hasn't panned out. That's the thing. You hear me famously talking a lot about Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing. You would swear that I'm in bed with them. But to be honest with you, the last time I've talked to a representative was in 2018 in September, when they had announced the merge of CreateSpace over with KDP. Since then, it's been radio silence. I reached out to them a couple times, and they're kind of treat me like any old other person. They're just like, yeah, shut up, Dale. One of those instances. So I talk about Amazon KDP because it is the most accessible model. It is accessible not only for the writer or the publisher, it's also very accessible for the reader. But with that being said, understand that Amazon's not the only game in town. And in fact, there are some people that would rather not purchase or support Amazon, purchase items from Amazon, or support Amazon whatsoever. So that's why you want to look into other avenues like Apple, like Barnes & Noble, Kobo, Google Play Books, even aggregate publishers like Smashwords, Draft the Digital, Publish Drive, or even investing in things like BookBaby or Blurb, things like that. It's gonna be a good idea to go as wide as you possibly can. Just don't spread yourself too thin that you're going crazy chasing after that type of stuff. All right, I see Joseph's got a question. Would you suggest having an audiobook day one, or should I wait and see if I can afford a more expensive narrator after launch? Never compromise the narrator you're going to get. So if that means holding off and doing your audiobook to afford a better narrator, do that. But I'm going to recommend this. If you've got the discretionary expense, pay for a narrator. You want to own 100% of the rights. Do not make the same mistake I made back in, I think, 2015 to 2016, where I signed a bunch of 50-50 royalty splits. A lot of the books didn't do well, but the 20% that did well, yeah, I'm stuck. I'm stuck on it for the next 7 years. And unless I can buy that contract out and get the narrator to agree to allow me to have the rights, it's not going to happen. And when you're doing really, really well with an audiobook through a 50-50 royalty split, the issue is they know what they stand to lose. So you're not going to be able to go to them for their original price per finished hour. They're going to be able to jack those rates through the roof. And I can't say I blame them. Like there was one of them, like it was just a ludicrous amount that this guy was asking for. It was like a short 2-hour book. And he was asking me for like $3,000 for it. And I'm like, whoa, are you telling me you're $1,500 per finished hour right now? But he knew that he would be missing out on future royalties by, getting paid out. So that's why he wasn't wanting the per finished hour. It's that. So take your time on the audiobook. Don't rush it, buddy. Strum and Susan, what's going on? I published 2 books recently with KDP, and I'm thinking about doing audiobook as well. It is a book of poems that I would like in my own voice, though. Strum and Susan. So this is what I would recommend to you. Okay. If you've got the know-how and the equipment to record your own audiobooks, fantastic. If not, you got 2 options. Hire another narrator, but it sounds like you really want to have your voice on this, and I totally agree. You should have it on there. Or find a local studio, a recording studio of some sort. I've got one here in Hilliard, Ohio. This one's a good one for you, Joseph. It's called Amerisound Studios, and Dan Green runs it. Good friend of mine. I've known him since the 90s when I actually had hair. I actually had long hair back then. But he charges $50 per hour. And depending on how long it takes you to read, and keep in mind, you're going to make mistakes and such like that. It doesn't really cost all that much, and it's pretty comparable to actually hiring somebody out. I think I ended up working it out to the amount per finished hour for all the production. I think I ended up, if I were to say break even, would be $125 per finished hour for me at the pace that I was going. How much I had to pay Dan ultimately for some of the books. So I'm also in Ohio. See, Strum and Susan? Yeah, if you're close to Hilliard at all, just right outside in the Columbus area, look up Amerisound Studios. I highly, highly, highly recommend Dan Green. He is a wonderful guy. He'll chat your head off. And I'm sure he'll probably chat your head off about me. So you may not want to name drop me. If you're welcome to name drop me, but he'll probably, oh my gosh, he is a super chatty guy. He knows what he's doing. He's able to kind of dial in some of the specs. I'm due for another visit over to his place here soon because I have to see about narrating the perma-free book, and I also need to see about putting together the compilation for the Amazon self-publisher. I'd love to see if I can get a voiceover from Julie Broad for the foreword. That would be epic for sure. Photos of hair. I think we want to see. Either way, you look great the way you are today. Unfortunately, none of my photos are here, but I'd be happy to share it sometime later. All right, I'm looking through. If I happen to miss any of your comments, I apologize. Should I just buy them or go with author copies? Ooh. Author copies can't get them in Canada, apparently. Have to order through the US and USD, so 10 author copies, $79 Canadian. Yeah, that's about right. The shipping, or I can order 10 on the main page for $85 Canadian. Get them on the main page. Just get them on the main page. It's going to come to you much quicker, and you're not having to sweat it and such. So yeah, it path of least resistance, in my opinion. The path of least resistance for these ones was doing the author copies and the proofs the way I did. Alrighty. Great questions. You guys are awesome. You're on fire today. Could you please do me a favor? I see that we're starting to grow a little bit more. We have about a dozen people joining us here on a beautiful Friday afternoon. Snap a picture, share it on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and now TikTok. And it would be awesome if you can get people to come on over here and join me. I'd love it. Thank you so much. All right, let's go ahead and switch it back over. We got a lot of questions to burn through. Good news. Thanks, Dale. Okay, hey, you bet. I always appreciate hearing from you, SD. Suburban Dictionary has been such a long time supporter of the main channel, and of course 7 months now on the podcast. Thank you so much. Is Blurb good for POD and comic book self-publishing? I'm not entirely sure, since I don't publish comic books. You can give them a try and order a proof before you publish it worldwide. Let me know how it goes. There are times here, folks, that honestly, I will be able to give you some information, but I've not been able to publish to every single platform that's out there. I really haven't. It's just time and sometimes finances, and I honestly don't have that many books. Says the guy with 41 titles of his over here. It's besides the point. But, you know, I learn a lot from you guys and gals. So anytime that you share some of your experiences and tell me what's going on, what service you like best, and some of the problems you've had, then, you know, it's easier for me. But let's come on back on over here. What is ET short for? Extraterrestrial? Strum and Susan says, I'm also thinking of connecting with my local university alma mater to find someone to narrate or at least use their recording studio space for a quiet soundproof room. That's not a bad idea. In fact, here's another one here, Strum and Susan. Since you are in Ohio, just north of Columbus, there is, now with lockdown lifted, I'm sure libraries are probably open again. There's one, I think it's called like the Orange County Library. No, it's not Orange County. It's Orange Township Library. It's right around Lewis Center. You can look up Columbus, but they actually have a whisper booth. And that's essentially like what narrators go into. It's really nice, and it's 100% free. You could just go on in and reserve a time and sit on down and record it that way. So it's that idea. I don't know that every library has that option. I was pretty blown away when I saw that. Keep in mind, though, the problem is you're going to still have to edit and master that stuff. And you're going to have to fix all the mess ups and stuff. So that's why I go over to Mayor Sound Studio, because when I mess up right on the spot, I'll stop. Dan will roll it back, and then I punch in on my mistake. So that way no one even notices that I had a mistake in the first place. Your videos have helped me a lot through the self-publishing process. Thank you. Thank you so much. He has little legs. I'm in Bowling Green. Get out of here. No way. That is actually my former alma mater, if you could say that, because I didn't really necessarily graduate, but it is. I went to school at Bowling Green State University from 1994 to early 96. I dropped out in 96. And I stayed there till about 97 until I moved down here to Columbus. So love me some Bowling Green, though. Looking forward to it, Dale Sensei. I'm not sure what we're looking forward to, but you and me both. I'm going to go ahead and do that canned response. My apologies. I feel about the free book. I told them they reduced the price only in the U.S. market. Yep, that's the perma-free. For you. You have to tell them every region. It's a price match. Struggle's real. All righty. We're burning through these comments here. Suburban Dictionary again. Thank you so much, Suburban Dictionary. You really spoil me. Congrats, Dale, on 50K subs on your Self-Publishing with Dale channel. Right on. Blog on. Thanks, will do. I appreciate the kind words and support. You're the best. I couldn't help but, I'm sorry, I can't help but crack up laughing. It makes me smile. Suburban Dictionary. I noticed your comment on the main channel. See, I handle the comments here on the podcast channel. Like, Ava's not up to handling that. Ava handles the main comments. Tier 2 comments, like if you comment again on it, I will typically come back. But I'll get notifications, and I saw Suburban Dictionary's comment one time and pretty much like, hey, congratulations on your 50K subscribers. I just was able to publish my book, Suburban Dictionary by XYZ, and blah, blah, blah. And it was like, cool. I just let it go. Ava saw it, and it cracked me up. I'm sorry. Cracked me up because Ava was just like, I'm not sure if you're trying to congratulate me or promote your book. And you went back through and you edited the comment so it only said congrats. To be clear, everybody's welcome to leave, like, you know, what your book is, and, you know, when you published it. Just don't put any links in there. That's my big thing. If you got links, it links off of YouTube. YouTube does not like traffic being directed off of it. And if I'm going to be directing traffic off it, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to be selfish and take that traffic. But you're always welcome to shout out your book. So sorry if Ava gave you a hard time. There's no hard feelings here, Suburban Dictionary. I'm smiling and laughing about it because Ava's like, she just shut that down. She's like, no. Hit you with the shout out on Twitter. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Hit me up on Twitter for sure. Okay, Susan Onhouse said, okay, I was trying to post on an old vid and lost it somehow, but here's the basic question. By the way, that drives me absolutely insane. Have you guys ever been watching a video on mobile? Probably. This is where it happens the most. And you're commenting on a video, but like you have the videos and like to where it just automatically feeds them off, and it like takes like 9 seconds. So I'll be like typing like an answer, and then it switches over to another video, and I'm like, oh. So this is probably what happened to Susan. Okay, I was trying to post on an old vid and lost it somehow, but here's the same basic question. You mentioned publishing through Barnes & Noble here, and I'm in absolute avoidance of their printing services because at least at the outset, they had Author Solutions provide their printing services. Ally, great group, still lists Author Solutions as a red zone press, and it does not list BNN as its own press. So unless BNN uses some other press, I would stick with the POD available through KDP. Not that people might have good BNN print experiences, but as Author Solutions has been class action as a horrid vanity press so often, why would I throw them any business assuming they're still doing the BNN print services? To my knowledge, I didn't know about Author Solutions working with BNN. Not to say it isn't true, but I can say I've never had issues with Barnes & Noble. Thanks for mentioning something. I'll do some digging. Yeah, that's kind of a dicey situation. That's the first I've heard of something like that. And if you've never heard of vanity services or vanity publishing services, essentially they are out to make money off you. They don't care if your book's popular. They don't care if it makes it big. They can tell you that they care, but ultimately at the end of the day, they only care if you're paying them. And they'll bring you in on a package where they're like, oh, we're going to edit it, we're going to proofread it, we're going to format it, we're going to put together a marketing plan and a press release. It's going to cost $10,000. And I'm not exaggerating. There are vanity press publishing services out there that run 10 grand or sometimes even absurdly more. I know that sounds crazy, but it is. And they're preying on people's, I don't want to say this in a disparaging way, their ignorance. You know, just because you're ignorant towards it doesn't necessarily mean that you're stupid. It's just you don't know any better. You don't know what you don't know. And so they prey on those type of folks. And I think it's disgusting. I think it's vile. And if you run a vanity publisher that just preys on the weak, to make yourself rich and pay for your yacht, screw you. I don't like you. Please do me a favor and walk off a cliff. That would be amazing for everybody involved. So yeah, I don't know anything about Author Solutions being tied together with Barnes & Noble. I would think Barnes & Noble would have their own printers, kind of like how Amazon does and Ingram does. So authors, writers, self-publishing folk, we're a very vulnerable bunch, and some vanity publishers will eat you alive. That's no joke. They will. They will chew you up and spit you out. Watching from College Station, Texas. Thank you so much, Lillian. I'm answering your comment on another live. Hooray! Haha. There we go. Another one from Lillian Brown. Hi, I love your content. Thank you so much for teaching me. My question is, if I put the books on draft to digital, do I still need to put it with the other sites? Barnes, Ingram, Lulu. I own my own ISBN, which, by the way, banana sticker to you, Lillian, and reach out to me, Lillian. I'm being legit. I'm going to kick you a banana sticker towards your direction. Dale at selfpublishingwithdale.com. Caleb, thank you very much for the fire there. Yeah. All right. So, and I see Suburban Dictionary put something down here as well. That's so cool. Thank you so much when you guys answer questions inside the comments. That's so cool of you to do that. All right. First of all, draft to digital, it's all one word. I know it seems really counterintuitive. You're like, why would it be one word? It's just one word. Draft to digital, or D to D, as some of them say. Man. If you go through draft to digital and you're still wanting to get the other sites, the thing is, you will get more of a royalty going direct to those sites. But there's some overlap. So for instance, Ingram distributes to Barnes & Noble. So does Draft to Digital. So does Lulu. And so does sort of, KDP, because KDP uses expanded distribution to get to Barnes & Noble. So with that being said, you can use all those avenues. I'd recommend going direct to the source when you can, but if you're a bit more strapped for time, places like Draft to Digital or Smashwords or Lulu or Ingram Spark will be able to send that out on your behalf. Now, when it comes to reach, though, of those ones you mentioned, Ingram Spark is going to be the best. They get the widest reach of all of the publications. In fact, so much so, Amazon uses Ingram Content Group for distribution, for expanded distribution. Say that distribution twice in a sentence. There we go. All righty. So I wanted to answer that. Let's see what Suburban Dictionary says. Dale, mind if I help on this one? D2D is a distributor and will get your book on many books selling websites. By the way, I don't mind at all. I love the fact that you answered. Barnes & Noble, Amazon, if you select that, Kobo, Overdrive, etc. Ingram is also a distributor, probably a semi-competitor with D2D. Many use Ingram to get their books into physical bookstores, or at least eligible for physical bookstores. That's true. It's eligible. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to get into it. That's the biggest common misconception is I can get brick and mortar distribution if I distribute through Ingram Spark. Not necessarily true. Just because you have the option to go in there doesn't mean that the store is going to stock your book, because they ultimately have to shoulder the burden and the risk of buying your content and hopefully selling it on their shelves. It's a business, folks. So even though you would love to romanticize the fact of seeing your book on a bookshelf inside a bookstore, that means nothing to Joe Schmo, who owns this independent bookstore, or Barnes & Noble, who has to answer a corporate bottom line. So just keep that in mind. All right, let's see here. You can get a presence to traditional book distribution channels. Ingram does advanced printing formats too, and is used if you also want a hardcover. Yep, that's true. Bound book, not just the paperback. I will add that D2D is user author friendly. I agree with that. Even more so than Ingram Spark. Ingram Spark is a little bit overwhelming with their metadata. They really need to tighten up that dashboard. Looking forward to hearing more from Dale and other thanks. Lillian. Suburban. Nailed it. Let me know if you have any other questions. All righty. I'm coming here for the werebear stuff, Dale. Keep it coming. Deal. Hashtag werebear. Werebears for life. Ah. There we go. That one definitely. If I could give that an extra heart, I would. And I'm going to hit hearts on this one. Thumbs up on that one. Okay, so we're going to go into held for review. Nothing in held for review. Let's come back to published. We are clear on this channel. Let's go to the main channel. I don't know how many we have this week. We're going to definitely find out. Comments and mentions. Here we go. Okay, we got a good handful this week. Last week I had only 3. This week it looked like. Is this one the 9th gen? It's the 10th gen or 9th. I just bought the new 11th gen and it's amazing. I highly recommend buying it without ads. It's so worth it. Yeah, I am really loving my new Amazon Fire HD 10. It is just absolutely amazing. Now, this is where the ambiguity kind of comes in. They're asking if it's 9th gen. A lot of people are saying that I've heard from comments like there was never a 10th gen that went onto the market. So I'm like, I always thought this was the 10th generation, but they're saying that this, well, that's the 11th, excuse me. The other one's out in the, there. But this 11th generation one, 2021, I end up spending about another $15 to take ads off. I freaking love it. I love it. I mean, like, honestly, I don't need to turn it on and get beat up with someone's ads about their specific app. It comes open. I just do my pin to get in. Boom. And it's open. It's really, really nice. I really do like this new Amazon Fire HD 10 tablet. So worth it. And I think a lot of you guys and gals are probably like, why are you always doing this? The reason why I do the e-readers and tablets, first of all, reaches a wider audience. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to lie to you, that the affiliate sales are quite nice. It helps pay for a little bit of the overhead cost. Also, I can get paid pretty well through YouTube AdSense, so that's not too bad. But the main thing is this, is I want to be able to give you the tools that you can pass forward to your readers, because this is going to happen a lot where you're talking with someone and go, yeah, I've got a book published. It's over on Kindle. And they're going to be like, oh, that's great, but I don't own a Kindle. Well, you can get a Kindle reading app. I don't really like reading on my phone. Well, you can go get a Kindle or take a look at this Amazon Fire HD. In fact, here's this video from one of my buddies, Dale, and he talks a little bit about each one of those things. So giving those options is going to be something amazing. Walter Wyburn, what is going on? Great to see you, man. Have you hit that 100K yet, man? I cannot wait till you get that silver play button in. Super proud of you, man. Oh, Samantha Happy. Which, by the way, Samantha, how you doing? I see you slipped in there. Good to see you. You look great. Thank you so much. I'm feeling great today. I got some pretty good news, in my opinion. Some things I'm just going to kind of keep personal, but there was some health issues that were kind of cropping up, and we kind of got a semi all clear. So today was a good day. I celebrated with some tacos. So that might be why I'm glowing today. How to copyright a scientific book with many new scientific inventions inside. Well, when it comes to copywriting content, this is something I shared, I think, last week. As soon as you create your first keystroke, your first pen stroke, whatever it is, you have already had a general copyright. It's kind of like a poor man's copyright, if you will. All works work that way. You're an artist, it does it that way. Let's say, for instance, this video. Guess what? This video has a copyright on it. And as it's going on, I continue to create a copyright on my own intellectual property. The same thing works for you. Now, you're probably saying, okay, Dale, I mean registering the copyright. Registering the copyright, you can just go ahead and do that. Now, as far as what the scientific inventions that are inside, it just depends if you're giving out a person's blueprints and they're not publicly available, or maybe you're using their trademark name in your title or, you know, saying disparaging things within the contents of the book. I think as long as you cite your sources and give credit where credit's due, you should probably be pretty safe. And especially if it's scientific inventions where people profit from that, chances are very likely they're going to appreciate you giving them a shout out inside your book. So could you explain more about copyright? So essentially, if you're in the US, you're just going to have to go look up copyright.gov, and it costs about $55 to $65 to get one publication. I think it's, if you do like a bulk of short stories, it ends up being cheap, but that's just short stories. But yeah, 55 to 65. I think it's up to $65 now for a registration. I think, Samantha, if you're here, you can probably let me know, because I know that you just registered a copyright not too long ago. So I'm driving. The network is weak here. Oh, I'm so sorry. Hopefully you watch this on the replay and get your answer for sure. 98,000. Oh my gosh, Walter, you're so close, man. So close. It's like, it's right here. It's right here. 2,000 subs, man. You're going to have it before long. So super proud of you, man. Got it. Okay, good. Samantha, happy. Great to see you, by the way. Okay. Mithu Mythresh says, am kind of confused here. I just completed my book, Nonfiction Self-Help. Okay, great. And I've took references and stats from the internet. Can I avoid copyright issues by providing the link and sources under reference at the end of the book? Technically, yes. But it depends largely on how much of the original source material you use. There are limitations. Consult a lawyer. There we go. Yeah, that's kind of a gray area right there. I even talked about it in my stories and such. One of the reasons why I had quotes books a while back that were published underneath my name. And this was when I was just, I didn't know any better. And I went ahead and published those things. And then, like, as I've gotten further into this business, I was like, ooh, technically someone can come along and either file as a minimum a DMCA takedown notice, or they could even take me to court and possibly win. Because there's some quotes that you can't use. And there's a certain amount that you can use from some quotes as fair use. But again, fair use is not some law that's going to be able to cover your rear end, because it's very subjective on how people interpret it. And yeah, you just be very careful when it comes to something like that. Always cite your sources. Always cite your sources. I always just recommend you, if you're using from a source, put it in there. Taryn says this, yeah, the wording is confusing, especially for authors who aren't well acquainted with the world of web fiction serials. From what I understand, a lot of these guidelines from Kindle Vella are about trying to preserve some baseline quality in terms of proper serial structure. As a big fan of serialized fiction, I hate it when an author simply publishes their novel chapter by chapter and tries to pass it off as a serial. Ooh, yeah. Novels are usually written like movies and serials like TV shows. Quite different structures. Chances are cutting up a movie into equal time blocks and publishing it as a 10-episode show isn't going to be a satisfying experience for the viewer. It's so true. You need to have that story arc. That's going to happen each and every single time. You can't simply just put out a chapter by itself if all it's doing is laying the groundwork. There needs to be some type of a story arc. The thing that I can kind of think of right now is a lot of the Marvel series that are rolling out over into Disney Plus. Each episode that they have does have this overarching theme, but each episode has its own story arc that it works off of. So don't simply just take your novel, split it up into chapters, and expect people to be happy with that, because that will really get it to where it gets them upset. Serials means you got to have a story arc on each and every single one of those, or you are going to lose them. Okay, I think Amazon's trying to prevent authors from doing the equivalent on Kindle Vella. I'm not sure why they're so vague about their intentions, though. Well, I certainly agree with you. Each episode needs to have a somewhat standalone element to it. while aiding in the overall story arc. And we'll see they plan due in due time. I'm sure readers will have the opportunity give feedback for stories that suck. There we go. Thumbs up, heart. All right, Sundus Mirza says, "Hi, I bought Katie Spy and have 7 books, but none of my book worked. Okay, people don't read even a single page for weeks. What is happening with me? I don't know how many words should I write on each single box of these 7 boxes. How many months does it take to get keywords indexed? Your one advice line can change my life." Okay, I'm thinking English is probably not their first language. I don't know without seeing. But it could be one of 3 things: bad cover, bad book description, or bad keyword choice. Or even all the above. Watch through any number of my 600 plus videos. I just stopped looking up videos and giving people hyperlinks. I'm just getting lazy now, folks. That's just the way I am. J Lee Book Blog, been subscribed for a month. Thank you so much, Jay. Appreciate that. Or J Lee, however you want to be called. Unless you live in Australia, then you can't do this. True. You still have Findaway Voices, which will get you onto ACX. Does it cost more? Yes. Is it worth it? I think so. There we go. Replied. Oh, here we go. Easy Graphics. I see you there. I'm learning many things with you. Keep going on. You are the best. You're the best, Samantha. I appreciate that. Easy Graphics says, "Ooh, this is a naughty one. We'll be steering clear of this." That was today's short. Showed a little bit of a system on this one. And if you guys haven't had the opportunity, go watch it. It is a scam that no one has talked about over the years. No one. I think there was one content creator, but his video was his channel was so small. Honestly, I don't think anybody saw. He had found like a loophole in the system accidentally. And then when he was caught doing it, Amazon came down on him hard. Agreed. There we go. Thumbs up, heart. Do you have any videos where you go into royalties? I don't want to produce both low content and ebooks only to have the royalties legally ripped from me. Yeah, about that. I've covered it numerous times in videos. Feel free to browse through them. All that to say this: it's their company. They'll do what they like. And they have a legal team to cover their butts. Sorry. Sad, but true. That's the thing here, folks. I don't think that gets a heart. I'm going to come on up here. That's the thing. I see so many times where people are just like, I read that, Amazon can just keep my earnings. Yeah, they can. And they've done that many times. Here's a funny thing. I talked about this some time ago, where there is like a legal team that they have that tracks down pirates. So there's third-party sellers that will go on and they fulfill print runs of your book, but of course it's a pirated version. And what will happen is, let's say you discover it, but it's already made some sales and it's taken away from your bottom line. You would think, since you own the intellectual property, that yours was the copyright that was violated, and they may have banned them off the platform, but that money doesn't get paid out to the scammers. It doesn't get paid out to you, though, either. That's the scary part, is that Amazon do whatever they want. And when pressed for something like that, like, hey, that was kind of money that was taken out of my pocket. Don't you think that you can probably, because it's not like the customers who bought that are going to, if they went and got a refund, great. Amazon probably, gave them a refund. But I'm sure a vast majority of the people, if it's a decent enough ripoff, probably generate enough money that no one's returning that book. Why aren't these people awarded damages? And Amazon doesn't care. Because why? Well, why don't you see about ponying up the expenses to go get your $1,000 or $2,000 that are owed you? I guarantee you Jeff Bezos has probably got a far better legal team than what you're going to be able to get. And you can sit there and say to the moon, well, I can find some good pro bono lawyers and things like that. Like, really? They could probably be able to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars just to make an example of you. That's the scary situation. In self-publishing, I tell people, do not put all your eggs in one basket. Don't rely on any one platform. And the people that can be able to do it, I'm looking at you, Walter Wyburn. The people that can do it and fulfill the stuff without having to rely on Amazon, Ingram, Drafted Digital, Barnes & Noble, the people who can do the orders through themselves and only have to rely on themselves, I think are the ones that win big in the end. Those are the people I really admire and look up to most, because we're all relying on a business. And in most instances, having to hedge all our bets on an algorithm. Will this algorithm serve up my books? We'll see. Brandon Estelle. Here we go. I like this guy. Brandon's so cool. Always great hearing from you. Brandon is actually I think he's marketing director at Helium 10. If you guys aren't familiar with Helium 10, they actually are a keyword / optimization device. Think like Publisher Rocket, but for like all things involved on Amazon. Not just books and such, but big thumbs up to you, Brandon, if you happen to be watching this on the replay. Bohemian said this, I went to a writing summit years ago, and the instructor said that he who owns the ISBN owns the royalties. Is that correct? Does Amazon own the rights to that book if you allow them to generate the ISBN? No, that's incorrect. He who owns the ISBN owns the imprint. That's it. So when you use the free assigned ISBN, you're simply borrowing their imprint. They will not own any portion of your rights. You give them permission to distribute, not to take your work. I hope that helps clear it up. Oh, and let me add this one. And yes, own your ISBN. It's better for the long run. Yeah, much better to get your own ISBNs. I just love whenever like there's these would-be experts out there just dispensing advice. This is one of the things that I try to be just transparent with you folks is if I don't know something, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to just come out straight out because I would rather have mustard on my face right now telling you like, hey, I don't know something than to dispense just bad advice or just try to look up a Google, Google an answer here live on the broadcast. So, yeah, I don't know where some of these experts get their advice from and why they dispense bad stuff. I try to keep things clean on this channel when it comes to that. If I don't know it, I won't say it. And if I don't know, I'll also tell you because I'm a human being. I can only store so much in my brain between pro wrestling, music, and doing videos like this and self-publishing. There's a lot of stuff to kind of, keep track of. So I don't think I'm going to ever be all-knowing when it comes to self-publishing. I feel like I'm still a newbie at this game when I watch giants like Dave Chesson or David Gogren. They just blow me away when I hear them talking about publishing. Like it just makes me excited again. I feel like a student all over again. All right, here we go. Coming back over here, Andy W, I see you there. I found 2 narrators in ACX, simple system and affordable. Awesome. Congrats on finding a good narrator. Never let them go. There we go. Yeah, you find a good narrator. Take care of them. Take care of them. This is I see this far too often that people they try to just lowball some narrators and such and they talk them all the way down. And I understand that if you're just starting with them, but if they do a good job, you're going to want them to keep coming back to you because the fact of the matter is if they did a good job, that means that they're talented and they're probably going to be able to get more work elsewhere. And if you're sitting here nickel and diming them to death rather than paying them their worth, they're going to be less apt to pick up work from you later on. They're going to be like, this person always haggles me down to $25 per finished hour, which by the way, that is absurdly low for anyone. But pay them well. Pay them well. Because remember, if you're really focusing on this business in the long term, you might lose a little bit of money up front hiring a great narrator, but you'll own the rights to it. And you'll also have started a good working relationship that can be very, it could be a good thing. This business can be very fun. I mean, I was just sharing with you guys about Dan Green at Amerisound Studios, how much I enjoyed going there, like building that relationship. It's just awesome. You can't replace that. And so one of the things is, it's okay to haggle with narrators. Just don't insult them by throwing peanuts at them. So, Strum and Susan, I also have a book of art and music and am preparing to format my second music book with a different theme. Should I stick with a cover that looks similar to the first so that people can easily recognize? Yes. Try to keep your branding somewhat the same. So let me give you a good example. My book's up in the background. You can see the books right here. All very similar layouts, similar colors, similar typography. You want to kind of have it. You don't want to get it to where it's the exact same cover. So in other words, I wouldn't want to have this cover right here and then just put like book 2 and then book 3. You want to kind of change it up because otherwise you're just adding to the noise on the marketplace. But excellent question, Susan. Godzilla Rising. What's going on, Godzilla? Do you recommend using actors for fiction audiobooks? If you can, yes. But there's a big issue is it costs a lot of money. Because you're going to end up having to, there are some teams out there, like you'll go out and get a team or even a company that has like in-house narrators they can assign to that. That's probably a way to go. And I don't know where to send you first on something like that. Maybe Ally might have it. Authors, man, I know what I'm talking about most of the time. The independent authors. Oh my gosh. The Alliance of Independent Authors. How about that, Dale? Let's make sure we speak right. If you go over, look at their services page, they might have some narrating companies out there. But let's just say, for instance, you're like, you know what? I just want to do this on my own. I know the exact voice actors I want to reach out to. And you do that, you're going to have to pay for them for each one of their per finished hour. And then you're also going to have to take the completed project, get it mixed, get it edited, and then get it mastered. And that's a lot of work. You're going to be in pretty deep. But I got to admit to you that as a fiction reader and somebody who's also listened to fiction books, I really do enjoy whenever it almost plays out like a movie. In fact, it'll just kind of jack with me sometimes. I hear a book like that. Those type of books are few and far between. If you can find one good narrator that, I wouldn't say like they're going to be like a Howie Mandel with like, very good vocal prowess or like a Mark Hamill or something crazy like that. But you can get somebody who knows how to change their pitch, change their tone and their delivery based on a character. Those are ones I go with. I know a great example would be Mark Brownless, good buddy of mine here, the channel here. He actually wrote The Shadow Man, and he had a narrator do it. Wonderful, great work. Like I really enjoyed it. And it was just one voice actor doing all of the voices. And it was great. And honestly, you listen to a Stephen King book, like Stephen King will read all the characters. To me, I feel more like it's a book experience, a literary experience, versus when you hear all the actors into it, then it almost sounds like old school radio, almost like hearing the movie instead of seeing it. And that can be fun. But to me, I sometimes enjoy the escapism of just the book without having too much more. But I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. My apologies. All right. Hopefully I helped out. Thanks for the info. Hey, you got it. Let's get the rest of these comments done here, folks. I did not expect to be on here for an hour and a half today, but here we are. Big Flower Steph says, hello, Dale. Hey, Steph. How's it going? Excellent informative video. We've got an original sci-fi audio drama. We'd like to release in audiobook format, more of an audio movie, really, SFX music, an ensemble cast, etc. Since this is a one-off project, we are leaning away from traditional podcast avenues. I know ACX advises against adding music, which we have in addition to SFX. Love to hear your thoughts and recommendations. Thanks in advance. I'm just going to make... It's so funny. We were just talking about that. Never compromise your artistic vision. If you believe having background music is integral to the delivery, then do it. I believe you should be safe. Contact ACX support for safety. You can always launch without music on ACX and publish elsewhere with the full soundtrack. Just my thoughts. Thanks. All right, hitting a reply. Good advice. Thank you so much. I try not to dispense too much bad advice. Doesn't make me look too good. Idea for a video. Ooh, classical performance. Here we go. All that talk about how Ingram Spark or lightning source apparently has... Oh, by the way, can I just come up here, folks? Let's just have a conversation, you and me, okay? If you're lurking, I need you to come back over to the TV, or watching on TV on your mobile device, or over on your laptop or your desktop, wherever you're watching. Okay, just need you to kind of Ingram Spark. Okay, let me go ahead. I'm going to do what my English teacher told me a long time ago. My grandma used to tell me, enunciate. Okay, you got it. Ingram Spark. Okay, I say this because I can't tell you how many times people say Ingram Sparks. Are they possessing something? Ingram Sparks distribution channel? Great. But if you're saying Ingram Sparks is the company name, drop the S at the end. It'd be awesome. It was a conversation I had with Robin back when we had the interview, and I was like, does that ever drive you crazy? She's like, yeah, it does, but I just kind of let it go. Yeah, so classical performance, nailed it. Ingram Spark. It is one word, but I'll accept this one right here. I'm not going to be too picky because I know I'm not the best at the English language. So, all right. Distribute your book to stores. Nobody talks about this. How do I cover the expense of all the hundreds of returned books, even if they do get destroyed? Yeah, that's the problem. You assume the whole bill. I haven't had the displeasure. Then again, I don't allow returns. So there's that. I am answering this comment, a live video. Let's go podcast channel. Expanded a bit more. Yeah, that's one of the really terrible things when it comes to the whole return policy. I'm not willing to take that risk. I believe in my book and I'm willing to gamble on my books. At this point in my life, I can't see. If you don't see the value of putting my book on your shelf, then that's on you. Like, I'm not. I think this is where having a wonderful supporting partner, my wife, she's so great at this that she humbles me and she keeps me remembering, like, hey, you're just like everybody else. When I hit the bestseller status on Amazon, and you're talking like in the top thousands of books, it gave me a big head. I mean, I'll tell you, I was riding high, and there was no like give on this. I felt like, oh man, this is a great achievement. And she's like, that's great. That's awesome. I thought she would just be super excited. So I kind of had to have her explain it to me. And she's just like, well, do you get paid more? Well, yeah, I'm getting paid more. But then being a bestseller because of that, it's like, okay, so it doesn't give you anything more. No. Okay. Congrats. That's the thing. So I started kind of looking at external sources and different people and organizations and things like that, and even brick and mortar stores. If my content doesn't weigh enough, it doesn't bear enough worth in putting it on your shelf, that's cool. That's all right. And I think that you should be okay with it too, especially if you don't want to be plunking down thousands because some bookstore made an egregious error in ordering 100 of your copies. Oh, there's a return policy? They're going to have to take the 100, and you know how much 100 copies is going to run. It's going to be insane. And remember, shipping and handling or even destroying the books, it's not going to be cheap. Next answer. Damien, been a subscriber to the main channel for 6 months. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. I just have a small question regarding Amazon ads. I set up an ad campaign last month. My total cost was $15. So Amazon is charging for sponsored ads on a monthly basis, right? Still, Amazon didn't charge last month's ad campaign cost from me. Ooh. Huh. So my question is, how does Amazon charge for AMS ads? Is it on a fixed monthly basis, 30 days, or in a random timeline? Okay, this one's got a couple of answers here. Let me type out this answer and I'll explain it a little bit further for you guys and gals. Yes, it is monthly. Usually around the first to third day of the month. But had to shout that. They also work bill based on a tier system. I think it's like $25, $50, $200, $500. You'll need to cross-check that with them. So if you hit a specific tier, they'll bill you immediately. But once you hit a high tier once, they'll go to monthly. Okay, so let me see about, explaining this. Wait, hang on a second. As for billing, you may want to check with them. If you owe money. Or it might be a different card than you remember. Could be that. I mean, just a theory. I've made that mistake on too many stinking times to count. Okay, so let's just back this up here a little bit. They were doing some ads to Amazon advertising. They were kind of wondering about how the whole billing system works. Okay, so it works like this here, folks. When you set up your initial account, you're going to end up putting in like a credit card of some sort where they're going to billing to you. They will bill you about the first or the third of every month from the previous month. Like they get you right away. That's the crappy thing is you get paid for them 60 days later, but they will take your money 30 days in advance. So that's one of the toughest things. The next thing is they don't entirely trust you until you've proven them that you're good for what you say you are gonna pay. So I think it's like $25, then it goes like to $50 and $100. So in other words, if your ads start to run up to $25 for the first time, okay, you've never done it before, you're like, boom, it hits $25, boom, they will take that out immediately. They won't wait for the monthly thing. Granted, you're not going to have to pay that money again when it comes to the monthly thing, because it'll pretty much zero out. You're going to end up like prorating it. So that part, at least we've got that. Then when it gets up to, let's say, a higher amount, like I said, I can't remember, it's like 100, 150 or something like that. So you hit 150 in spending. They bill your account, even if it's not the first of the month, but they will still hit the first of the month. And it can be a very, very small amount until you've hit the top tier. And I believe that's $500. As soon as you hit $500, they're like, yeah, you're good. Go ahead and spend whenever you wish to. And they're like, fire at will. And then it's monthly. It's a weird system. It's a very, very weird system. I wish they would just take that cap off because it creates a lot of confusion for anybody that's new to it. And they will, like, some people are like, oh, it might have gone away within the last few months. I don't know. I haven't had a good pulse on Amazon advertising for a little bit because I had my head in other projects. So excellent question, by the way, Damien. You get a thumbs up, you get a heart. Celinda LeBrows, it's great to see you there. Hi, Dale. I decided to put one of my properties up on Kindle Vella. Hang on a second. I'm coming back over here. Yeah, I was already up there. Walter Wyburn, you go stand in a corner, man. You're going to stand in a corner. Sparks, you slay me, man. Hi, Dale. Decided to put one of my properties up on Kindle Vella. Awesome. I originally did it for the short story release. It's TV episode style, and I think it will fit well. My big thing is that it's releasing weekly, but since Vella isn't out, I don't know who it's releasing to. Sounds great. Let me know how it goes. I was thinking about breaking ground on Kindle Vella, but I'll be honest with you, I have far too many projects right now to take on something new. So Shirley May, amazing. So many books and they all look great. Shirley May, thank you. You're the best. I hope you caught the 20 plus I did on stories today. It's a lot. Okay. She gets a thumbs up. She gets a heart. This is nothing about getting reviews. Yep. And you're also ignorant. So there we go. What is a trade name? What would I put? If you own a business, put the legal name there. If not, use your name. Reply. My mom won't let me use her social security number and I don't know what to do. Well, I'm assuming you're underage. If that's the case, you don't have to convince me. You gotta talk to her. That's on the Twitch setup one, and I get so many like comments on that video. And it's like over 3 years old too. Have you tried Comixology with it? How does it work? I haven't. But that's because I use Kindle Unlimited, which has quite a few sweet comics. So, for the record, it's real good for comics. I just dislike the battery power. Comics are much better on an 8 or 10. Yeah, I'm still a big fan of reading comic books. It's probably been a few weeks since I busted one out. Kindle Unlimited actually has some comic books on there, and oh man, it's so cool. It's just absolutely neat just to have like this pad here, and just it's so vibrant. The colors just pop up off the page. If you are a comic book artist and you do stuff like that, come see me. Like I would love to see your work. I'm just a huge fan of comic books. Question: if I create an ebook with DRM, which is digital rights management, am I allowed to also create a more expensive no DRM version and include in the title or subtitle that this version does not have DRM? I wouldn't recommend it. Just go without. Keep in mind, DRM, actually I'm just going to go ahead and spell it out. Digital rights management doesn't really hold back bad actors from hacking into your book and using it as they wish. So it saddles the burden on your actual customers and readers. Just my opinion. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of digital rights management. It was good. It was a good idea probably in 2007, 2008. Even prior to 2010. But now, like, everything is easy to find, how to hack specific things. And, you can just simply, like, if you're watching on YouTube right now, just open up another tab and search up how to break digital rights management or DRM on a book. And I guarantee you'll find a ton of tutorials on there. And it's absurdly easy, believe it or not. It just takes a matter of minutes for you just to... And you can go ahead and share it wherever your heart desires. So the people that are going to steal from you are going to steal from you. They're never going to be the type of person that's like, you know what? That's got digital rights management on it. I can't hack that. I'm going to spend the $10 so I can steal it and give it to everybody else anyways. So the people who are going to steal are going to steal. The people who are going to invest in you and are true readers and will invest in other people's books and do it right because they know that there's people that they're supporting by consuming their content. They're going to do right by you. They're going to pay for your stuff. There's never going to be this instance of some pirate going, you know what? I'm going to question all my life choices based on this book right here. I know I could probably look up how to hack DRM, but that's not the day. No, it doesn't work that way. That's why I just think digital rights management was a good idea in the early days. Nowadays, I think it's simply what it does is it saddles that burden to your reader. And that means that it's going to limit them to the number of devices that they can share it on. So as if, for instance, and I know that I'm an exception to the rule, if I want to read, let's say my Werebear book and it's got digital rights management put on it, and I want to read it on here. Maybe I want to go in the other room and I want to read it on my Paperwhite. And then maybe I want to read it on my Kobo. I thought it was my basic Kindle for a second there. Or maybe I want to read it. So you see, I've got all these different devices that I can read from. But the problem is when you put DRM on that, it then starts to stifle the number of places you share it to. So it's their way of kind of, and I know some of you are guilty of this out there. I know some of you are guilty of this. Got a friend who has a Netflix or Hulu account or Disney Plus, and they give you the login. Like, yeah, I'm going to get the login. So what they're trying to do is limit that number of times that you can be able to have that book on any one device across any one number of devices. And that's what digital rights management does. To me, I think that if someone has purchased it, they should be able to read it however they want to. Make it, shake it, or bake it. Whatever device that they want to without any limitation. And that's the issue with DRM. Because it's saddling that person with the burden when everybody knows bad actors are going to get what they want, no matter how you feel about it. Alrighty, so that was the last question. Let me check to see if there's anything held for review here. No. So I'm going to hit a refresh on this. We're going to come back over here so you guys don't think I'm going crazy. That's it. Wow. We have been here for nearly 2 hours, and it's just awesome that you spent some time with me today. I do appreciate it. I've got a big watermelon sitting in the kitchen right now that I'd love to go carve up and get a big old bowl of that. Wherever you're at in the world, I just want to thank you again for taking time out your day to spend a little bit of time with me. If you made it this far in the broadcast, because I see there's 3 of you left, I am going to give you an open invitation right now. Drop me a line, Dale@selfpublishingwithdale.com. I got some stickers. I'm going to throw them in the mail. I'm thinking about getting some magnets. Some magnets would be amazing. So we can just slap some banana stickers all over our refrigerators. Let me know. Hit me on up. In the meantime, this has been Self-Publishing with Dale. And folks, I will chat with you on Monday, 12:15 p.m. Eastern Daytime. Deuces. Be healthy. Be well. Take care.